Mr. Beast Burger. And what is it saying? That's fine. Looks like it's okay.
Battle of Sedan.
Go down some more.
Hmm?
You. I need your.
Oh, more
Input.
information.
My input about what?
What do you want me to do, Seth?
I'm thinking.
Game input service? Is that what you're asking about, Seth?
I'm just curious about what you may think. Put the down arrow on
I don't know what the fuck game
applications
input
and
is.
log services, and look at hardware events.
Game input sounds like a software.
Wait, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Hold on, what am I doing?
Application and service logs, down arrow on that, and then hardware events. Just look at that. It should be blank, but it might not be.
From the same error, correct or not?
Just for any errors.
The compound
If it
file
doesn't have
game input service was produced with a newer version of storage. Game server, blah blah blah. Terminate exploit is done 5 times. Following corrective actions will be taken in 1,000 milliseconds. Restart the service. Same with the old one. Same with the one that's just there.
So you're in application, service, and logs, hardware events.
So I'm in Windows, logs, then system. Oh, you're on applications and service.
Yeah.
Then you're on hardware
Down
events.
on that, and then, yep. Is it blank?
Yes.
Okay. Good. It's good to make sure that if that's blank, that's fine.
Is it just me or does Seth keep
yeah.
cutting in and out?
It's my internet. I
was
switched
saying.
to my garbage internet. Yeah,
Oh,
don't
fair
worry,
enough.
it's not you.
I thought it was me. I was like,
Yes, Q?
Oh, nothing. I was just gonna contribute.
Go on.
Cross the bridge
All
over
I
the
can
River
think
Mars
is
before the French blow
this,
it up.
our blue screen logs. So if we can't find anything there, then nothing's being,
Some really fucking slow
Oh,
Stukas.
Hyper-V.
Well, this is how scammers get you, is with that page. Scammers get you with this page. Because it says error. Not all errors in here mean anything other than garbage. There'd be something wrong if there wasn't errors in here.
Yeah, a lot of the areas are service control manager.
So it's
Oh,
all
there's
being
a
that
critical.
service control manager.
There's a critical one.
What does that say?
That's kernel power.
Kernel power? Okay, that's fine.
There's
Kernel
this.
power just means you turned Windows off without Windows wanting you to turn it off.
I mean,
Yeah,
no, I've
the
done
system
that.
has
I've done
rebooted
that. I've done
without-
yeah. And then you got Hyper-V visor, sorry, which is an error. Is that on?
Yeah, nothing in there looks. Nothing in there looks like it's catastrophic.
but it's going to be
That-
a lot of
that
kernel
may
power because
be-
I forced it to turn off.
Yeah, so that's gonna be fine, but I don't know what this hypervision is.
Neither do I.
When did this crash happen?
Just a second ago. Oh, what? The start of it?
No, the hypervisor. Yeah, just recently, yeah. Apparently it's a BIOS problem.
Befehle?
Infanterie einsatzbereit.
So, do you have a USB? I mean, do you have like a thumb drive, USB drive?
I have an external hard drive, yeah, why?
Kernel would be fine, but what would be better is, you know, like a little stick drive.
Oh, I've got several of them, but I just don't know where they are. Need to find some. I just need to find
Infanterie
Why?
in Bewegung.
So if you have them, would
Bewegungssoldaten.
you be able to find them
Yeah, I'd be able
if
to
you
find
needed them?
Yeah.
All right. What kind of motherfucker? System information? Look. Yeah, system information.
Bewegungssoldaten. Ziel in Sicht.
Version, no, I need...
Beeilung. Na los.
It
Okay, I'll just
should
I'll
say
just-
baseboard prompt.
Prime B36.
Alright, just send that to me and I'll look this
Okay.
up real quick.
Wow.
Just send me the picture.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Verstanden.
Steam would open.
You have
mail.
Shut
Wow.
up, Sean.
That's actually
Smell
pretty
now.
old. Your BIOS was last updated in 2020.
Oh, wow.
Email. That was from a female.
So how do I update that?
It's a process that I
Your
will
men
send
must
you a
hurry and
YouTube
cross
video
the
for
Maas
because
before the
getting it
French rally.
wrong is very bad.
Great one.
Ziel in Sicht.
Do you reckon that could be what it is?
Sanitäter unterwegs.
It sometimes I can't promise anything, but I have heard stories that problems have been fixed by doing so. Big problem. Like, big problems. It's yeah, either this may
They managed
be
to
a
blow up the
RAM
bridge in time.
failure. Like one
Now
of
we
your
must find
sticks of
another way
RAM could
across
be
the
going bad.
I suggest you try
Oh.
building a pontoon bridge over one of the fords.
Yeah,
Watch
yeah.
out though. The
Do you
riverbanks are
have
heavily
a
fortified by French
Corsair
bunkers.
RAM?
Pay special attention to the defense of the repair
Yeah.
vehicles. Without those units, we won't be able to build a pontoon bridge.
I don't know. A lot of my Corsair sticks have been failing, and I've had everything works fine, then all of a sudden it black screens, and then
Reinforcements arrive.
you have nothing.
Ziel in Sicht. Verstanden.
Yeah, sometimes in
Befehle?
Like things lock up and weird things happen. Plus
Jawohl.
it's ASUS, right? Yep. And I need the this B. Oh, that's a B, not an 8.
Yeah, that's a B, not an A.
Well, from how, the resolution on my... Anyways, it was... It looked convincingly like a B. I mean, an A.
I know, yeah,
Oh,
no,
no.
yeah.
Okay, so I need the,
Ja, Kommandant?
what page, maybe?
Ziel in Sicht.
Jawohl.
You need to do anything?
This should be...
Infanterie in Bewegung.
Yeah, this is it. BIOS.
Jawohl.
First one gets shit fixed because I had enough of it.
Yeah, I can understand. This won't hurt you as long as you follow the directions, right?
You trying to update his BIOS now? One of the
Yeah.
listings for the error is potential BIOS issues, so yeah. Which can also
Yeah,
cause
so-
driver issues, but in theory.
Yeah, it can. It can.
Do I need
So
to do
this
it
is
download
your-
the BIOS?
Yep, you download BIOS and you put that onto the drive,
Mm-hmm.
and
Zu Befehl.
Or the USB stick, yeah.
you're a suit, right? Yes, it's six.
Befehle?
I don't know how. Hopefully, this will be good for you. Just skip. Right, these.
Fahrzeug funktionstüchtig. Befehle, Kommandant? Bestätigt.
Yeah, what episode was we on? Episode 8.
7 or 8. Yeah.
Fahrzeug funktionstüchtig.
You doing your BIOS update now?
No, I do that in the morning because I'm not feeling it right now and I don't want to mess it up. Plus,
Okay.
I've got to get a USB stick.
Right.
Do it.
All right. Just look up how to install BIOS on YouTube, okay? That's what I'm gonna recommend. Then let me just look up one more thing that I think you might be able to do now.
Ja, Kommandant? Auf dem Weg.
Infanterie in Bewegung.
Einsatzbereit, Kommandant.
Befehle? Beeilung.
Okay, before you go to bed, do this.
Einsatzbereit, Kommandant.
Because this is gonna take a long time to do, so
Infanterie
just set your
einsatzbereit.
computer up to do this.
Bereit für die Schlacht.
Ship is at
Memory.
100 condition. What?
Memory. Windows memory diagnostic.
USS Iowa is always at 100% condition.
I also recommend you do it.
How?
I'll wait for check disk first, and then I'll worry about that stuff.
Infanterie
I
in
don't have
Bewegung.
I don't have a flash drive ready, so
I'm so confused by
You
your
don't have
picture.
a what drive ready?
I don't have a flash drive ready.
Right, I'll be right back.
Oh, no, this doesn't need a flash drive.
He doesn't have his drive
Kommandant.
flash
He did it.
ready.
Funktionstüchtig.
What's
That
that,
doesn't
Seth?
take a flash
Bewegung,
drive.
Soldaten!
That doesn't take a flash drive.
Bewegung, Soldaten!
What I just sent you is just RAM test.
Bewegung, Soldaten! Bewegung, Soldaten!
All it
Befehle,
does
Kommandant!
is checks the integrity of your RAM. And I told him to do that before he went to bed because that takes about an hour.
Yeah.
He just did it.
Did he just do that now?
I told him not to do it. I said, look, don't do that until you go to bed because it takes a while. And then he was like, oh, all right. I'm going to go ahead and do it.
In Bewegung, Kommandant! Wir sind einsatzbereit, Kommandant. Auf dem Weg!
Next month.
Did he really go to do that?
Bestätigt!
Yeah, I guess he did. I told him not to.
The
You
fuck?
heard me say it, right, Q?
Yeah, I did. I didn't think he was dumb enough to do it now.
That takes its sweet time.
But thanks for sending that to me.
Yeah, I did it a few times. Like every time I've had RAM, you would be surprised how many. Okay, twice. I had 2 sticks of RAM decide they really just should
Jawohl!
not work anymore and make me cry.
In Bewegung, Kommandant! Befehle, Kommandant! Beeilung!
Blink? Is he gonna blink? Is he gonna blink?
In Bewegung, Kommandant! Bestätigt! Beeilung! Bewegung!
I'm trying this game out that Hammer sent me like a week ago.
Na los!
Well done.
I'm
Einsatzbereit,
building a
Kommandant.
pontoon bridge,
Destroy the artillery bunker ahead.
which is interesting because
Einsatzbereit, Kommandant.
I can't think of that many games that let you do that.
Auf dem Weg!
Artillery units have arrived. Use them wisely.
Einsatzbereit, Kommandant. Infanterie in Bewegung. Bewegung, Soldaten. Bewegung, Soldaten.
This isn't artillery. What the fuck? Seth, the field commander or whatever sent me saying, "Oh, we sent some artillery for you. Use it wisely." It's a fucking Stug. That's not fucking field artillery. I mean, technically, itty cannon's artillery, but still, you know. That's like a stretch. That's not.
I'll show you my artillery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can make it work. Yeah.
My infantry-styled rifle artillery. How's that for
Sure
a
you can make
mouthful?
it work. Q.
What's that, Seth?
I'm sure you can make it work.
Just do what Bethesda does.
Let the modders fix everything. and then immediately break everything they fixed.
Just say it works. It just works.
Yeah, it just
Oh yeah,
works,
they fucking ruined Skyrim's modding scene recently.
Oh, trust us, guys. It'll be fine.
They did
Bereit zum
a
Angriff.
big fucking
Ja,
update
Kommandant.
to the community mod thing,
Koordinaten,
and
Kommandant.
it's broken
In Bewegung, Kommandant.
all mods completely, even Nexus mods
Einsatzbereit,
for
Kommandant.
Skyrim.
Kanone
No
in
one's been able
Bewegung.
to play Skyrim with mods for like 4 days.
Again? Yeah, fucking figures. They always do that shit.
Kanone wird versetzt.
My buddy's been pissing about it.
Kanone in
Remember how I
Bewegung.
told you after they came out with that special edition, I downloaded a mod that de-patched it in order to play my mods again?
That's what I told him to do. Just go back before the anniversary
You
update.
did well.
Yeah, just look up
The enemy's
de-patcher.
main
Every time there's a
bunkers.
major update that breaks shit like that, there's a mod that comes out on Nexus to de-patch it. I'm willing to bet you, if you look up de-patcher, the same one I looked up before, it'll probably include that version too. That's the first thing I looked up. I'm like, oh, update, mods don't work? I'm gonna look up a de-patcher.
He said he did de-patch it, but then it made a few of his mods
Bestätigt.
outdated, and when he tried to start it, it completely just it was.
Then reinstall the mod.
He said he went through all that too.
I find that hard to believe. Usually de-patchers fix the issue.
Feindliche
So
Einheiten
unless he
gesichtet.
overwrote something and didn't realize it, reinstalling the mod will fix it if he had any issues. Otherwise, you might have to do it from scratch and just
Well,
restall
I
it and
think-
then patcher.
Well, I think some of the mods he's using trying to use were made. way
They
after
probably
the patch.
updated it for the special edition. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
That's possible. He probably used them updated for that current one, and you'll just have to look up a previous version. Which Nexus mod usually, if the creator leaves them up there, there will be different versions.
Yeah, almost all the mods have
Infanterie in
the
Bewegung.
previous files.
But yeah, that's a good idea. He might just have a more updated version, so when he depatches it, he'll have to look up the previous version.
Yeah, the mod.
Like a lot of mods updated for that special edition patch. Not all of them, obviously.
A big chunk of the population.
Well, a lot of modders get pissed off and fuck off. Cause it's like, we fixed your fucking game for you, and you keep breaking it.
What if they have a life?
I know.
A lot of
They
the
don't-
best,
Bewegungssoldaten.
I don't know why
a lot of the best mod developers just straight up quit because of like the Skyrim, because they're basically stealing their mods and shit.
They need to
Infanterie
leave
in Bewegung.
Skyrim.
Leave Sky.
It needs to fucking be left. It's fine how it is. They have to always fuck around with shit because money. That's literally what it's about.
I mean, yeah, that is part of what it boils down to.
The
Yeah,
what's it called?
A lot of it is posturing, and the ultimate goal is to make money from posturing. So,
Yeah, that's why it fucked up. Them updating their own little personal community mod manager thing that they put in the game,
which
which
is
fucked everything up.
Also, their new game didn't do so well.
Oh, I know.
yeah, they've been going on rampages about it, Seth.
I got into a big argument with my friend before that game came out about, I told him I'm not really excited about Starfield, and he got all up in arms about it because he's like, oh, it's Bethesda, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
They-
Seth knows all about how I feel about that kind of stuff.
And I just told him like I'm just not so willing to throw my money towards something that
Well,
I don't know will be a good investment at the end of the
well,
day.
even on principle, just assuming that everything will be great is fucking retarded.
Exactly. Like the whole point of a trailer for a game is to show you the best parts. It's to get you excited.
Most of it ain't even real. Like, you'll have
Exactly.
trailers that are like real gameplay. They've been doing this for fucking years, ever since consoles has become a major deal in the household, like PlayStation 2 and shit. Ever since the PS2 era, etc., when they were coming out with PS3, there's a shit ton of games that they use FMVs to say it's real gameplay, and it's obviously not. If you have if you have any like awareness of what gameplay is.
The last game that I got like super excited for just from the trailer alone was Metro Exodus. And it didn't have any gameplay in it. But I like that company. They released gameplay before they released the game, so I watched some of it, thought it was cool, and bought it, and I loved it. I still own I own it on PC now. I had it on console.
Like, look what they did with No Man's Sky, for example. I know some people will be like, oh, they released the gameplay footage. That wasn't gameplay. I don't know, I sound like a crazy man, maybe. But, what they released was setup game. It's basically a really long cutscene made to look like gameplay. And people are like, oh my god, look at that gameplay, it's so amazing, wow, all this stuff's happening. And I took one look at it and I'm like, nah, that looks fake as hell.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky is gonna be the next best thing, you're just an idiot. Okay, alright. I mean, look at how fucking vague, even in the interviews, like how vague the guy was being.
It took him like 2 years before that game was even decent. And to this day, I would only call that game decent. I played it for a little bit, but I dropped it really fast. It just seemed like a reskinned Minecraft, but you're in space and it's not blocky. Yeah. I guess they added some shit with the updates after I played it. There wasn't really shit to do when I played it.
Well, when No Man's Sky came out, it was a lot of shit. It's much better now, though.
Remember when I played it, you could like fly your spaceship up to the space station, and you could do like delivery missions or something, and that was it. And then it was like build a base, find random planets, and explore them. And
Yeah, when the
build
game
more
came out, you
base.
couldn't even build a base. It was just you walking around doing a monotonous loop of refilling and doing resources. And then God forbid you were one of the people that had to suffer from all the crashes or the time whenever you landed on something and it was floating and you were unable to get back into your ship.
Oh god.
And then you were pretty much having to start over from scratch. And then the whole entire thing is pointless because there's nothing. It was, well, it's not as pointless now, but at the time it was very pointless because if you actually like get to the center of the universe, which somebody did do and took footage of, You have to grind through to get to that point. But if you do, there's nothing there. It just resets you to new game. It gives you like this short cut scene of like planets flying by, and then you get forced into playing over again. It just resets you.
Einsatzbereit, Kommandant.
You reset back to the beginning of the game in a new world or galaxy or whatever.
Feindliche Einheiten.
I mean, there was a shit ton of bullshit about it, but it wasn't entirely their fault. It was the fucking Sony, you know? Sony is very responsible for what went down there.
Bereit für die Schlacht.
You know.
Kanone wird transportiert.
And I'm not an apologist, but I know shit when I see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Sony is definitely responsible for a lot of that, for what happened to No Man's Sky. You take an indie studio with like what, 12, 20 guys in it, tell them to make a game, and then you throw them under crunch, just like you do with all your other studios you publish with 1,000 people in it, and expect them to churn out shit, you know?
Bewegung, Soldaten.
It's fucking stupid.
Ja, Kommandant. Jawohl. Bewegung, Soldaten. Beeilung.
Ja, Kommandant.
Bewegung, Soldaten. Bereit für die Schlacht.
When you think about it and you realize that that's the shit that they most likely went
Feind
through,
gesichtet. Feuer.
you know, people that just want to make a game, I mean, would you be able to deal with that? I wouldn't. I'd fucking leave. Which some of them probably did in the middle of development. I wouldn't doubt it. That causes a lot of toxic issues.
Jawohl. Bewegung.
If that makes any sense. I don't know if it does, but it does to me.
Makes no sense at all.
I'm sorry.
How could you?
Because I'm awesome.
Where's a good site to download abandonware game?
myabandonwaregames.com. But it depends on what game, because unfortunately my abandonware games, if the game starts getting,
Or .net?
if you go to that website,
Have achieved an
there's a
outstanding
problem.
victory today. The pathetic French will not recover easily from what they've lost.
So here's a problem with my abandonware games. If a game starts getting listed on GOG, which GOG, I have a problem with GOG because they'll relist abandonware games, and they'll just, the only thing their excuse is that, oh, we made it run on modern systems, and they'll charge you money for it, and it's like, all you did was install a bunch of fan patches that fans made. You didn't do shit, which is what GOG does, by the way. They even state that that's what they do. And it's fucking bullshit. So when GOG lists it, myabandonwaregames.com takes the game off and links you to GOG, which is fucking stupid. Because
They don't get it.
even if, like, let's say Nintendo puts
Try
not
Steam
Nintendo,
Unlocked. They won't have
not Nintendo, but
it. It doesn't just have Steam games.
well, what game are you looking for, John?
Black site, Area 51.
Oh yeah, you could definitely find that game. Look up. It'll definitely be on my abandonware. If not, then we could look up a repacker or.
Yeah, I just found it on my abandonware.
Anyways, that's my problem with GOG is they're
I'll send you a
reselling.
link.
They resell abandonware games, and it's like. So here's another issue.
Fuck are you
Let's
doing?
say Sony, let's say you wanted to get the PC version of Metal Gear Solid, and then they're like, oh, Sony listed it on the PC store, so now we're gonna take it off because it's not abandonware anymore. Actually, yes, it is, because the version that you're downloading from as abandonware is not the same version that they're listing on their store. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Does that, you know what I mean, Sean? So
Yeah.
the game that you're
Interesting.
downloading as abandonware is still abandonware because that version is not the supported version. But a lot of people don't understand this shit, so, you know, or they don't even understand the concept of what abandonware is,
Wednesday, May 15th,
and it causes a lot of confusion.
Full Gelb. The term
Or they don't
resonates
have the
through
money to
ranks of
fight
my
it,
men like
or-
some god-given destiny. The
What's that,
Opiates'
Seth?
plan to push through the Ardennes
Or
and
they
take the
don't
French forces
have
by
the money to
surprise
fight it in
seems to
court.
have been a great success, and has inspired
Alright,
every
Seth, let me
Wehrmacht
tell you
soldier
something.
to do his best against the herb find in the West.
A
Uh-huh.
man spends $10,000 on a Nintendo NES cartridge
Of course, the
because
Luftwaffe was
he
a tremendous
thinks that
help
he's
in
doing the
operation.
justifiably right thing because he
Was,
thinks
as
anything to do with
always,
anything is
carried out by our
piracy.
troops on the ground.
When he could just
Especially
use
by
an
Alan
emulator.
Milk and his men of the
Mhm.
1st Rifle Regiment.
He could just use an
I'll never
emulator
forget when
because
we
it's
charged
fucking
ahead,
abandonware.
crossed the Mars in rubber boats under fire to establish that beachhead.
Nobody supports that. There's no fucking copyright
My
laws
men crossed the Mars
on
with
that game
ease.
anymore.
A few of them made mistakes that could have cost us the victory, but overall they did a good
That's
job.
true, but if Nintendo goes for
Valerian joined
you,
us after the first Mars crossing, and
Happens
Balk
to
greeted
you.
him, shouting,
You.
"Joyriding on the Mars is forbidden."
Most of the
Bad
time, if you
things.
download
But even he thought the Canarians'
anything that's
tactics worked
copyrighted, you're not going to get in trouble.
Anyway,
Oh,
we
It's
won.
specifically
no,
the
no,
website.
no,
Day
that-
they're pushing the French
Yeah.
and their British
I
So
know.
here's the thing. If Nintendo does go after me for
It seems
playing an
we're
emulator
weeks before this
on an
war is over.
abandonware game,
We just
guess
need to
what?
close
It's
the
not going to
tracks
be
that
that
show
hard to
them
find a
France
defense
really
attorney
ours.
because they know they'll
I
get a
have orders to
payout
proceed
for
to
it.
Arras to secure our flanks.
They're not going to take a case they know they're going to lose, especially if the person can't pay them for the job. They'll take commission from the outcome. I know it's not the same as civil cases, but in a clear-cut case like that, yeah. And guess what? If Nintendo challenges it, they prove they make themselves look more like a dummy. So it's risk for both sides, Seth.
I know, but 9 times out of 10, they both sides lawyer up, and then the other side concedes to Nintendo.
Yeah, but
That's
Seth,
what
you're referring to other specific situations. Nintendo hasn't taken anyone to court over an emulation of an abandonware game like that.
They have
Ghost Wire
some.
Tokyo for free on Epic Games.
I know Nintendo pitched a fit
of,
about Shining Force over YouTube, but that wasn't even Nintendo. That was someone pretending to be Nintendo because of YouTube's flawed system. No, Shining Force, the original game, by the way. But a lot of websites several websites got scared and started taking it down.
Well, I'm talking about people who, what do they call it? When Nintendo's not been as bad lately, ROM hacks of old Nintendo games, they really get got.
Well, that's because it's superior, usually. There's usually something interesting or fun. The reason why they do that is they haven't actually, like, taking any action. All they do is or somebody pretending to be Nintendo. Because anyone can roll up and pretend they have a DMCA. So you're forgetting that, Seth.
This is generally, they get a letter in the mail from Nintendo.
Yeah, but like I said, Seth, there's anyone can pretend. And there are people that are avid fans that think if you don't buy the original cartridge or you try to do anything fan related or fan art, you're a thief and you deserve to be put in prison. There are people that believe that. There's a lot of crazy ass people. Don't you think they won't do it? They'll find out where you live.
They'll find out where you
They
live,
fucking do, man.
and they'll kill you. I know people are fucking weird.
They found out where Kojima lived.
It's fucked up.
Yeah. It is. It's more complicated than Nintendo did this and that. There's a people that can pretend to be Nintendo too. There's this guy that did this big seminar about a book he wrote. He for like 10 years straight, he constantly got letters and emails of him supposedly being summoned to court to about copyright and all this other stupid ass bullshit, and he ignored it because he knew it was bullshit. And then after a while he humored it and looked into it and just proved that it was bullshit. And this person was so adamant and saying they had all these lawyers sending fake DMCAs, you know, pretending to be a lawyer and other shit. A lot of people do stuff like that. Speaking of abandonware, Battlefield 2 in 2142 had a fan revival project where they were fan hosting servers because it's abandonware. And it was great. I loved it. And they got a fake DMCA, and they immediately shut it all down. I heard they brought it back up somewhere else, but yeah, I mean, it's how it goes. Like anyone could just throw a DMCA around if you know, and you could just assume that it's true or not. It's hard, you know, it's scary, but you know. Even I've had weird threats before. It's just hard because it takes a lot of looking into to prove.
Yeah.
Capture the gas station. Advance over the railway lines.
Anyways,
and eliminate all
I'm not trying to
opposition.
say anything in particular, Seth. I'm just saying that it's really muddy because it's so hard not. You can't just assume. You have to question everything. And that's frustrating. It gets so annoying. But yeah, before Total Biscuit died, he even talked about it. There's this big debacle over Shining Force and Sega going crazy and shit. About some YouTuber playing it.
Blitzkrieg tactics are most
An
effective
old,
if we press on and
abandoned
don't let the
console
enemy regroup their
and an
forces.
abandoned game.
Yeah, Herr Kommandant. But unfortunately, our panzers
I think it
are
was
running out
Sega
of
Saturn.
I see. According to our maps, there is a gas station nearby. Head there and refuel the tanks immediately.
Wir sind einsatzbereit, Kommandant. Befehle? Einsatzbereit, Kommandant. Transporter einsatzbereit. Wir sind einsatzbereit, Kommandant.
If you download
Fahrzeug
abandonware, you are a thief and you deserve to be beheaded.
Wir sind einsatzbereit,
That's right.
Kommandant. Fahrzeug
You're
funktionstüchtig.
a fucking criminal. You're
You're a
disgusting.
fucking fraud.
You didn't get the game legit like I did.
Bereit zum Angriff.
I'm
I
a
bought
real
that
gamer.
with my hard-earned money. I spent $200 on a rare edition.
Yeah, that
you
went
can't buy anymore.
and that goes straight to the company. So I'm not stealing. It totally didn't go to some random scalper that just wanted to cut his losses because he held on to it for too long.
And I want to be the next sad bastard to have.
It's totally not a
50
scam.
years.
Now, who knows?
It's totally
who
not
the
a scam.
Publishers for Area 51 are not even this informed.
I know. We're just joking, John. We're joking. There's stupid idiots that act like that.
You know what? That's what you think. They're gonna come out of the blue, straight out of Area 51 to pull out that lawsuit card.
Better watch out.
Ja, Kommandant.
You better watch out. They're coming for you.
You better watch it. They're gonna be knocking on your door in black suits.
The men in black are gonna show up.
It's a lawsuit.
How
They're
dare
gonna be
you?
like, you're gonna see a big flash.
Feindliche Einheiten gesichtet.
They're gonna
for the
neuralize the
next
shit
fucking
out of you like
5
12
years.
times in a row. Like they did that one girl in that one scene.
If that happens, we're hiding behind you.
Not the one girl in that one scene.
Yeah.
Lawsuit.
You don't remember it in the first Men in Black movie?
Yeah.
Where they like flash that chick and then they
Yes.
keep but they're arguing in front of her, so they keep saying shit, so he keeps flashing her. because they're arguing about shit she's not supposed to know about. Do you remember that?
Yes.
He's like, "Will you fucking stop that?" Yeah, apparently that's based off of a comic, and the comic was different, as it usually is. But the comic was a lot darker, apparently.
Darker.
Yeah,
see how
Usually
they
a lot
got
of
darker, would get
media,
darker.
like Agent K, for
stuff.
example, like he is in the movies, like Common Collected and shit. But in the comic, he's a fucking psychopath. He like murders people and shit.
It's like similar.
He
to
murders people under the excuse of government protection or whatever. Some stupid ass shit.
It's almost a similar thing to a lot of older Disney movies. They're like based on a lot of old folklore tales that were really dark.
Yeah, but talking about that kind of stuff brings up a very serious issue with Disney. They took public domain shit and then re-copyrighted it, which is supposed to be against the law.
Yeah.
But they lobbied a bunch of shit and made it happen. And then they lobbied all their stuff that they have is supposed to be public domain by now, except for the most recent stuff. But they kept lobbying, for example, Mickey Mouse, kept lobbying and lobbying and lobbying, and at the time they got permission to have their copyright for over like hundreds of years, even though that's not supposed to be a thing.
Einsatzbereit, Kommandant. Befehle, Kommandant? Zu Befehl. Wir sind einsatzbereit, Kommandant.
You're not supposed to be able to do that, but they made it happen. But nobody's challenged it. You know?
Because no one has Disney money.
What's that, Seth?
Because no one has Disney money. No one has the level of money that Disney has to challenge it.
Oh yeah, they'll show up with like 30 lawyers.
And 30
The
kids.
Rockstar joke.
Please, they're not peasants. 200
Oh, my bad.
lawyers.
You're right. I'm such a lowly peasant.
200 lawyers and 3 people in black suits that'll make you disappear.
Bereit zum Angriff.
You know
Right,
that's
Men in
true.
Black.
Jawohl. Jawohl.
Men in
No, we're talking about Disney.
Ja, Kommandant.
Yeah, Men in
Yeah,
Black.
John, get it right.
You're gonna be locked underneath the Magic Kingdom for the next 100 years.
Wir sind einsatzbereit, Kommandant.
Right.
Auf dem Weg.
Okay. Technically, in Florida, they used to have their own little police force, and they could hold you indefinitely.
Wir sind einsatzbereit, Kommandant.
Disney. Apparently, they can't do that anymore, but we'll see.
How the fuck do I get these guys fuel?
Jawohl. In Bewegung, Kommandant. Wir sind einsatzbereit, Kommandant. Verstanden.
fuck am I supposed to do this mission? They don't give me any fuel. This makes no damn sense.
Der Feind!
In Bewegung, Kommandant.
Erwarte Befehle. Verstanden. Verstanden. Einsatzbereit, Kommandant. Einsatzbereit, Kommandant. Auf dem Weg.
Ja, Kommandant.
So, on this mission I'm doing on this game, Seth, it's like the French campaign playing as Germany, because apparently that's the first campaign in the game. In 1940, in France, which is just before they finished taking it, I guess.
If we press on and don't let the enemy regroup their
So,
forces.
they start me off
Yeah, Herr
with
Kommandant.
panzers.
But unfortunately, our panzers are running out of fuel.
They have little to no fuel.
I see.
That's,
According
that's
to our maps,
about right.
there is a gas station nearby.
But it's not.
Head there and refuel the tanks immediately.
Yeah.
No, it's
Sounds
not,
about
Seth.
like Germany. Yes.
No, it doesn't,
Germany
Seth.
was always in a fuel crisis.
No, they're not.
Bereit zum Angriff.
That's why they.
That's not why they
that's why
started
they
the.
went to war with Russia.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
They went to war with
That's why they
Russia
went to
because
war
they
with
were
Russia.
at
They were-
war already because fucking all the other shit going on.
They needed oil,
Yeah,
and they felt
they
like
needed
Russia was
oil.
gonna take.
There was a lot of
Bessarabia
reasons
from
why
Romania.
There's a lot
That
of
was
reasons
one
why they.
factor.
There's a lot of reasons why they went to war with Russia, Seth. However, in the French campaign, do you know what the whole Seth? Do you want to know why the fucking Blitzkrieg was genius? It wasn't because they rushed really fast. It's because the way they set up their fucking supply lines to keep up with it. Anyone could fucking just rush. That's not what made it a brilliant, Seth. They would get a trail, they'd get their trail of their supplies and shit to come in behind the main force, and then they would set up auxiliary units like half-tracks and other mechanized and motorized units to have like a channel of like support open up for the supply vehicles with protections on both sides as everybody moved together. Supply wasn't a concern for the Battle of France, Seth.
Okay, for Russia it was.
Bereit zum Angriff.
For them to declare war on Russia, there was a lot of factors involved with that, Seth. It wasn't just, oh, we want to get oil. It was more of a lot of other stuff going on too. Like, yes, fuel was a concern because they're having to deal with Britain and shit, and getting bombed. That was a future concern, Seth. Does that make sense? That
They
wasn't
did have
a
synthetic refinery.
yeah.
Yeah, they were doing synthetic stuff, but that was
It wasn't as prevalent as it should have been because of bureaucrats, bureaucracy and shit.
you know, like they were having coal shortages, but the coal mines they were full of coal, but because they weren't using the trains very well, they weren't getting.
They were also doing converting
the whole
coal
thing.
into oil too,
Der Feind!
or synthetic, I should say. They're using coal for synthetics as well. But that's getting into like the hard stuff, Seth. This is just at the this is like at the end of 1939, Seth. They weren't having a fuel issue. Fuel was a future concern, not a current concern. Anyways, that's why the Blitzkrieg was brilliant. It wasn't just because they rushed, it's how they did it and the way they utilized it to keep it going. Because you can't just rush across an entire country and then just be done with it. You gotta keep them going somehow. That's why it's brilliant. Otherwise, like, oh boy, we have vehicles. Oh boy, we went and they ran out of fuel. Guess we'll go home now. Like,
It's just such a good utilization of tanks and infantry support that people hadn't seen yet.
yeah, we learned a lot of shit from World War II. It's mainly
They thought it was gonna be like World War One with trench warfare. So a lot of France and Poland weren't prepared at all.
warfare was revolutionized in multiple ways.
Yeah, it made us rethink how we fought. 100%.
Yeah. They did a lot of things that we used to make our own things and learn from. It's like, it ain't easy when you're the one having to write the rule book.
Oh, look at how much war's changed now.
Yeah, our modern era was born from all that shit. Our modern warfare.
Oh, there's probably fucking cyber wars going on that we don't even know about that doesn't get fucking reported on the general media.
Remember how I sent you some of those documentaries? Remember I sent you some of those documentaries about the greatest tank battles? Well, they did one on the Battle of Easting, which was, you know, that's when they had Abrams and shit. And
Yep.
they took over.
I thought it would.
So they took that place over because they had old T-62s and shit that are hand cranked, dug in, and they won. And then there was there's this guy in a Bradley. They won. Whenever they won, they captured like one of their leader dudes, put him in the back of his Bradley, and the guy saw a picture of like Rommel in the guy's tank. And he's like, "Hey, that guy's your enemy. Why do you have him in there?" And he's like, "If you knew anything about that man, you would know why you lost."
My sister's adoptive mom was there.
Because they used Panzer tactics.
Well, not like during that specific battle, but my sister's adoptive mom was in the Gulf War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She fucking.
Like, did it say anything?
She's a really good woman, but
yeah,
she's never talked about it. I've never asked her. There was one day she freaked out when a helicopter flew over, and she's like, "Incoming!" and dropped to the floor. It was fucking freaky.
So it's most likely my bios then.
And then my mom said one night she was crying in her room, and she went in there to check on her, and she was freaking out saying, "They killed the baby! They killed the baby!" Yeah, I can't imagine what the fuck she's seen over there.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
More
War ain't no fucking joke.
No.
That most likely is the bios then, if that's the case, since it hasn't been updated since.
Like, just
4 years.
seeing the, like, mental state of people that have been in war, like, so many people need a reality check. Oh, the first day I was at basic, that was like one of the first things our drill sergeant said to us was, "Forget video games, forget movies, Call of Duty, all of it's bullshit."
Well, here's the thing about that. When you're in training, they have to empty your mind and your body, so they break you down.
Yep.
So it's not for everybody. But see, they lie to you and tell you all sorts of shit to get you to fill yourself with what they want you to think that can gets you to automate, you know?
Trust me, I know. I was there.
I know. I'm just
My
I'm giving
mom
some
even.
context for Silver because he doesn't know how to read.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My mom, like when I went home on holiday block leave, I was only gone for 2 months before I left for holiday block leave to go back home. And my mom said I was like on autopilot mode. I was a whole different person. She said even in my sleep I was saying like, yes, drill sergeant, no, drill sergeant. It was just wired. The only way I can explain it.
Yeah.
You're
that's
just
how it
always
goes.
on alert. They really embed a lot of shit in your mind.
Yeah.
You have to memorize all the chants, the songs, everything. One of my drill sergeants, I remember him freaking out one day because one of us wasn't fucking listening, fucking up. And he's like, if we ever go to war with the Russians, what the fuck are you gonna do? And it just made me think in the back of my mind, like, does he know something that I don't? Are we going to fucking war with Russia soon?
Nah, they're just trying to reprogram you is all.
Because it was
fucking
always
seems
the
it, doesn't it?
Russians. This was
Because
before
Russia's now-
the
Russia's-
invasion on Ukraine and shit, man. Like,
Well,
they
Russia's
were
now
always.
threatening Finland that they're going to attack them.
Well,
It was
Silver.
always about
Well,
the
Silver.
Russians.
Silver. The point is they try to reprogram you. It's the thing, Silver. They tear you down mentally and physically. They make you break down to try to rebuild you into what they want you to feel and think. That's kind of the point of being in the military. Is you have to be like in step, in line.
But I just always found it really weird how they always specified that we would be fighting Russians. This is the only thing they ever said was about Russians.
It ain't going to be the fucking Nazis anymore, is it?
Well, you know, of course not, but I would think maybe it'd be like, what if the fucking Taliban walks up to you and blows you up or some shit, you know? Like, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but they're more scared. They're only useful for suicide bombs.
Well, there's
I'm
more
just
to
saying,
insurgent
am I
fighting
wrong?
than suicide.
Anyways,
Am I wrong?
anyways, armored and
Let's
mobile
not
armored
forget that
doctrine.
Al-Qaeda's in control of Afghanistan.
Armored and mobile armored doctrine was heavily studied, and what defined it was World War II, especially what we learned from our enemies,
Oh yeah.
and we utilize it because it's a far more useful now that we have stabilizers, full stabilizers, Seth. Okay, fucking
What did we
nitpicker.
learn about war from the Vietnam War?
The press made us lose. That's what we learned. I mean, I'm not wrong.
Pretty fucking
Beat
much.
up the reporters.
The reporters made us lose,
Calling us baby killers and shit.
and it's such a shame, man. I don't want to get into that. That's so fucking sad. Those people got spat on and fucking attacked by random people because of that shit.
Yeah, I know. And it was like few and far between specific incidents that happened, and they got dealt with.
I wonder if that's
Those
why
fucking
veterans
people
get
went to
shit on
prison.
today. I wonder if that's why veterans get shit on in this day and age.
Yeah.
Let's not get into that. Silver, how you doing? Silver?
Sorry, what?
I'll always
are you
have
doing?
respect for military.
Oh yeah. I wanted to be a drone pilot.
Fucking go to help you out, Olive, and now you fucking.
At the end of the day, if the government ever tried to basically go full-on corrupt genocide policy, whatever the fuck you think, something crazy. I doubt the government would have the military on its side.
Wow, this game is surprisingly detailed.
Na los! Bereit zum Angriff.
This is actually impressing me.
Beeilung!
And I'm not usually a sucker for graphics, but it's not even the graphics that's impressing, it's the details. Which is, I mean, I guess that's on par with me, but still, I mean,
Na los!
On what?
the details.
Verstanden!
Hammer wanted me to play this game for him, and I'm trying it out real quick while I was waiting for Silver to come back. By the way, Silver, you back? You good to go now?
Yeah.
Well,
So-
we figured out that it's not memory, so
So it's his
Mem
BIOS?
check said good.
It's most likely the BIOS
Sudden Strike Forward. What is this, like Men of War?
It kind of looks like it when you look at the screenshots. Which I like Men of War. It's a good series.
Herr Kommandant, we have
I
encountered
have
a new
Assault
British
Squad
heavy
2.
tank.
It's my
Our guns
favorite
are
one.
completely ineffective
Yeah,
against its front
the
armor.
Sir Hinkle's map
Requesting air support.
pack is good.
Unfortunately,
I
the
usually
strikers
just
are
do
too far
Rob's
away to
realism.
provide support. You have to find a way to deal with it yourselves.
In Bewegung, Kommandant, Fahrzeug funktionstüchtig. Auf dem Weg!
But even with Rob's realism, it's kind of janky at times.
I am. I'm not as a fan of Rob's realism. It introduces some extra problems because the engine, the way the engine does certain combat and stuff like that, kind of fucks with the balance.
It's good for like vehicle combat, but infantry combat's just broken with that mod.
Yeah, I've played some mods that required it, and then I switched back and forth to doing it vanilla, and I just didn't like it as much. Like the
Like,
concept is interesting, but in execution, because the game and the different units aren't made to be that way, it kind of fucks with how the game works.
Yeah.
If that makes any
It's
sense.
so easy to defend on Rob's realism, you know? It's like set a machine gun up, put a tank there, and you're good.
Well, even in vanilla game, you're good too. It's all about positioning in line of sight and holding it. It's tactical. But
Right.
with Rob's, just pronounced it even more. Cause like, if you were smart, you could take advantage and sort it out.
Zu Befehl. Fahrzeug funktionstüchtig. Wir sind einsatzbereit, Kommandant.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Rob's is cool, but you know, like I said, that's just a problem I had.
Bereit zum Angriff. Bewegung! Befehle, Kommandant?
Oh my god, it's a Matilda 2. Just shoot it. Why are you having so much trouble? It's not invulnerable. I mean, it is invulnerable because the game said so, but not in real life.
Kills every one of your German tanks.
He almost did. Like, every shot was literally just bouncing off in all directions.
There might be more British forces
I
nearby.
positioned the tank behind him. He didn't rotate the hull, but just turned the turret, and I shot him in the ass till he blew up. But it's like, there was, like, even in the side he was invulnerable. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of bullshit is this? What kind of Looney Tunes bullshit?
Sounds right. Sounds right.
Einsatzbereit, Kommandant.
German guns are notorious for backfiring. Joking.
I know,
And
Seth,
you
but
know
you do
I'm
it so much though that I just don't have patience for the laws anymore. I'm sorry, Seth.
Oh, okay, fine.
You do it too much is the problem. If you didn't do it so much, then it'd be funnier. But I'm just tired of hearing it. I'm sorry.
But this was better. German guns backfire. It causes them to explode inside. That's the only reason why it looked like the Matilda was punching
Right.
your through your German tanks. They weren't. It was just the backfire from the guns.
Well, he technically wasn't punching through them, but we weren't punching through his.
You couldn't punch. he couldn't punch through yours, and it wasn't like you were
Befehle.
firing your guns.
Bereit zum Angriff.
There was just fire coming out as it backfired.
Befehle, Kommandant?
Right, that was just shrapnel projecting out of the piece of the guns.
In Bewegung,
Yeah.
Kommandant.
Yeah.
Bewegung, Soldaten.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Befehle?
You would have got him if your guns didn't
If it wasn't for
backfire
those
on you.
meddling guns.
Ja, Kommandant.
Yeah.
Na los!
Befehle? Bewegung, Soldaten.
Anyways, you want to continue watching some stuff, Silver?
Yeah.
Der Feind.
Alright, you're going to give me a minute. I'm streaming this if you want to see me fuck around with it.
Many of those heavy
Holy shit. How am I going to deal with this?
to a more dependable position and prepare to make a stand there.
Oh,
Reinforcements
fall
will
back, huh?
arrive soon.
Oh yes, I remember the Battle of France, which was about falling back and waiting for reinforcements.
Fahrzeug.
Yeah, the
my
classic Battle of France. Alright, Silver, you watching?
Favorite battle.
Silver, you see my stream?
I'm now.
Yeah, look at some of these fucking details. Like, I drove through this field. You see that shit?
Oh no, Q. A bunch of
I remember whenever the Germans were almost out of fuel, so they had to stop at a French gas station. That's a classic story right there. Totally didn't bring their own fuel supply logistics. Totally didn't do that.
maybe a bunch of swordfish blew it up.
Yeah. By the way, that's what I had to do on this map. By the way, I had to take my units with little to no fuel and rush to a French gas station, so I could start filling them all up. Oh, I'm
I
getting
guess you could just-
reinforcements. Those are 88s. Oh yeah. Ooh, 105s. What's that, Seth?
Reinforcements arrived.
Guess you could say they're just trying to show you the
More of
mechanics
these
of the
guns
game.
are arriving soon, but the rest
I
of the
mean, I
army
don't
is
care
too
either
far
way. I
behind.
just think it's funny.
Prepare
I'm
the
just having
baseline
fun
and
with it.
don't let the Tommies break through.
I mean,
Uh,
at first I got pissed off because I was running out of fuel while I was driving there. But then I did the mission again and I didn't run out of fuel while I was driving there, so...
Flak is an excellent gun, designed for a dual purpose. It is very effective against both air and ground targets.
Yeah, I bet it is, you little bitch. He's like, the 88 is good for ground and air targets. It's dual purpose. I'm like, I mean, yeah, that's true technically.
Transporter einsatzbereit. Ja, Kommandant.
Kanone in Bewegung.
It's like, yeah, they designed AP rounds for it,
Ja, Kommandant.
but that's a little bit...
Kanone wird versetzt.
I mean, I'm not
Playing,
complaining.
Kommandant.
Huh?
Zu Befehl.
What are you playing?
Kanone in
Sudden Strike
Bewegung.
4.
Koordinaten, Kommandant.
What, you got a problem?
Transporter meldet sich
No,
zurück.
I just didn't know what game it was. It looked like Company of Heroes.
I know, I'm just fucking around. Yeah, it's like, it looks like Company Heroes crossed with Men of War. And you know how I like Men of War.
Jawohl.
But so far, this is... So far, so good, I suppose. Now watch this half-track tear through this field right here. Look at that.
In Bewegung, Kommandant.
Look at that detail. You can see it laying down
I can
underneath
hear
it
that
too.
the British tanks are on the move. Soldiers, get ready.
Transporter einsatzbereit.
Wie lauten die Koordinaten?
I can't speak Spanish. You're gonna have to translate that, sir.
Kanone in Bewegung. Zu Befehl.
Okay, I know what Kanonen means,
Auf dem
kind
Weg.
of. Never mind, I don't know what that means. I just know what it... I just know I heard it once.
Feindliche Einheiten gesichtet.
It totally doesn't mean cannon.
Alright. Thank you.
Oh,
Good night.
okay.
Befehle,
See you
Kommandant.
off, Seth.
I'm getting off. Just try the BIOS update. Just, read how to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ja, Kommandant. Einsatzbereit, Kommandant. Bestätigt.
Silver, have you played Iron Harvest?
No, I haven't even got it.
It's an alternate post World War One where they made mechs.
So what are you fighting?
British, apparently, in France in 1940.
But aren't you the British?
No, I'm German.
Ziel in Sicht.
Those fucking Matilda 2's bouncing and shot.
Forward!
That was an ammo explosion, supposedly.
Befehle? Befehle, Kommandant? Jawohl. Bewegung, Soldaten. Bewegung, Soldaten.
I totally remember the British counterattack. That's a very notable effort that happened. Not really.
Jawohl.
Hey.
Bestätigt. Transporter einsatzbereit. Koordinaten, Kommandant? Jawohl. Ziel unter Beschuss sehen. Transporter einsatzbereit. In Bewegung, Kommandant. Ja, Kommandant. Ja, Kommandant. Befehle, Kommandant. Verstanden. Auf dem Weg. Transporter einsatzbereit. Kanone wird versetzt.
By the way, these half tracks cannot rotate in place like that, by the way. But it's convenient for a strategy game, though, which I'm fine with. I'm not that much of a stick in the mud.
It seems they don't believe their heaviest tanks can be defeated. They just keep coming.
Silver, have you tried World War II Online before?
Befehle, Kommandant. In Bewegung,
I need to
Kommandant.
get a fucking scout somehow. Is there a scouting
In
car?
Bewegung, Kommandant. In Bewegung, Kommandant. Auf dem
Fucking
Weg.
EBR, really?
What's that?
Fucking EBRs, of course it is.
Jawohl.
No pussies, because they can't fucking take on a broom bar.
Wir reparieren und füllen nach. Na los! Wir reparieren und füllen nach.
Koordinaten, Kommandant? Wie lauten die Koordinaten?
Einsatzbereit, Kommandant. Na los! Jawohl.
Well, now I just wait for the mission to end, I suppose. All my tanks are dead, by the way. I totally remember that. The entire blitzkrieg was stopped by a handful of British tanks doing a counterattack. That was my favorite part of the Battle of France. Let me tell you. Let me tell you all about it.
Zu Befehl. Kanonen einsatzbereit.
Bereit zum Angriff. Jawohl.
I'm almost done with this mission, Silver, but do you see this shit?
Befehle, Kommandant.
This is the blitzkrieg in full display, my friend. Look at all this efficiency. Am I
Wie
right?
lauten die Koordinaten?
Jawohl.
How do I use the fucking repair? Why can't I repair this?
Beeilung. Ja, Kommandant.
Feindliche Einheiten gesichtet.
Ja, Kommandant.
And why do they have such fuel low reserves on the vehicles? Like, what the fuck? I'm a fucking nerd. It don't matter.
In Bewegung, Kommandant. Einsatzbereit, Kommandant.
Finally, they gave up. The British are very persistent. I'll give them that.
Yeah, finally.
Outstanding job. Your resourcefulness is remarkable. Germany needs great soldiers like you.
One. Hey, 3 stars. Look at that. Kill one enemy with a headshot. Don't know how I did that, but hey.
Wednesday, May 22nd, 1940.
I just
All
let
the
them shoot
French
at
are
each
our
other. I
arch
don't know
enemy.
how I did that.
Cannot help but
I don't know how I
admire
killed someone with a headshot. I just let those guys shoot at each
the
other.
beauty of its girls. Less impressive, though, was the French army. For an army lauded as the greatest in the world, it was easily outmaneuvered by our fast tank attacks. When we arrived on the
Oh,
fields
get
in
the
Arras,
fuck
we
outta
had been
here.
plowing through the French countryside for over a week. French and British forces
Oh,
retreating left
cute.
and
Is there
right.
co-op missions
In Arras,
for
though, we
Company
put
of
up a
Heroes
fight.
2?
These new British tanks really packed a punch.
Oh yeah,
But my
yeah,
men
we did
found
some.
their own way to deal with
We
them.
need to do some more.
British steel is no match against
Well.
German tactics.
That's on my other hard drive that's currently
My men began
corrupted,
calling
so
Guderian the Fast Heinz because he pressed through
that'll have to be
France like
another
a
time.
madman. It seems his tactics worked quite well so far.
Look at this
The turning
fucking.
point in the battle came when Rommel suggested using the 88s against the incoming tanks. The powerful shells of the AA guns just burst through their armor and really enabled us to hold the line. However, the Oberkommando seems to be afraid that our ranks will be vulnerable to pincer attacks if we push towards the English Channel at this pace.
This dude don't even describe what just happened in this mission. Did you see that, Silver?
Hmm?
This dude's like, oh, they were retreating left and right, and they couldn't deal with us outmaneuvering them. It's like, dude, I just did a fucking holdout mission. I did a defense mission. What are you talking about?
Fucking retreating my ass.
Fucking, yeah. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? Of course, the first one starts with D-Day.
The Battle of Sedan took place between May 13th and
Well,
May
hey, for
15th,
completing the mission, you get a little thing here.
near the
Look
eponymous
at that.
town in
See
northern
that, Silver?
France. It is considered to be one of the most important battles of the German Western Offensive. In the morning hours
Right, Silver?
on May 13th,
Huh?
Germany initiated targeted bombardments.
Oh, never
to
mind. I don't
weaken
see what the point of
Allied
telling you when
defenses.
it's not gonna fucking work.
French Supreme Commander
Right, I was trying to
Gamelin
bomb a target.
was insufficiently prepared because he didn't expect the tank assault in the rather difficult terrain.
Well, are you gonna
By the
want to do the thing or
afternoon,
no? Or are you
German
still
ground
busy?
forces were
No,
rapidly
I'm good.
advancing.
I'm alright.
Despite being outnumbered 90,000
Okay.
to 60,000,
Watching an anime
they
is
overran
relaxing
the Allied
entirely.
resistance only 2
That's
days
great.
later,
Do you want to watch some more of it?
losing only about
Yeah.
1,200 men.
I was trying to.
Battle of Sedan sealed France's
On the
fate
bright
for the
side, if
Second
you
World
complete the
War.
mission, you get like a historical little
Opened an
thing you
unopposed
can
route to
watch.
the English Channel,
Like,
effectively cutting off Allied troops stationed in Belgium and northern France.
Yeah, I was showing you on the screen, and
yeah, no, I was watching it. I saw explosions like the White Cloud or some shit.
no, they just show some like historical footage and just give you a lowdown of what what the thing was or whatever.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, and they show you like a bunch of footage that's sort of related,
Yeah.
Like French tanks. And then they give you like a little short documentary of sorts.
May 21st, 1940, near Arras, France.
Let me kill this one
A
first.
desperate and badly organized
Let me kill
Allied
him.
counterstrike under British command was
How am I
supposed
50
to
cows
delay
not getting
German
through a
advances.
fucking this one?
With just
KV1,
74
sorry, not
tanks
this
and
one.
2,000 infantry, General
From
Sir
above.
Harold Franklin the Germans. Led by Erwin Rommel,
Yeah,
the
how's that point
Germans
up? How's that
beat down
possible
the
that my
Allied forces with
cannons aren't going
220
through
tanks and at least 5,000 infantry,
fucking KV1?
suffering barely any casualties, forcing Franklin to retreat that same evening.
Barely any casualties. I fucking heard that shit. Barely any casualties, my ass. Did you hear what they just said, kid?
Yeah,
Barely any casualties, my fucking ass.
led by Erwin Rommel.
Who? Ooh,
220 tanks and 5,000 infantry.
How many tanks?
It says, according to this, 220
Jesus.
in the battle of this particular battle that they are talking about.
So I'm assuming those were like the little fucking Panzer IVs and all that sort of shit. Panzer III.
Yeah, 1940 they mostly had like Panzer III, 4s with the short 75
Yeah, short 75, I knew that.
and the 37s on the Panzer IIIs and Panzer IIs. Very mobile tanks.
They weren't very strong though, not against the Matildas.
No, they didn't need to be. But then again, the Matilda, I don't remember I don't remember hearing about the Matilda being around for that. That's like the Africa campaign shit.
Oh, is it? No, I swear
I'd have to
we
go.
used- when did the Churchill come into play? Wasn't World War One, was it? It was World War Two.
Yeah. Churchill came in after D-Day, which was
Yeah.
1944. This is 1940.
How the fuck did we get those across the channel anyway?
What? Shills?
Yeah.
Ship them. We took the beach. Remember?
Yeah, I
took
know we
them.
took the beach, but
Yeah. They just set up. You just set up a little port, like a makeshift port and shit. And you use
must have been one
the
massive
LCV
ship, though.
ships. Well, there's LCV ships or whatever the fuck they're called, and what they'll do is they'll drive them up to the shoreline, and they'll have like the ship's front will open up, and they'll have like a massive ramp that comes out, and then they just offload troops and shit, and then just go back and get more. That's one way to do it, and then I think they also set up like a portable port. They set up like a makeshift port. I think. That's how they secured the beachhead. But I don't.
Arise is 5.
But I don't remember reading about Matildas being in France. There probably was, but I don't remember. I remember hearing about them in the Africa campaign. Because all the stories I hear, and these is mostly from the British side of the story in their documentaries and stuff. Even they say the British tanks were rubbish. Even all the way up into the Battle of Africa. Shit, I mean the Africa campaigns. So I don't know. I'll have to go back. My head's hurting anyway. But yeah, I'll tell. Let's see, what's the Soviet campaign about? Leningrad? All the way to the Battle of Berlin. Okay. Allied campaign. Battle of the Bulge. Hurtgen Forest. Operation Plunder. And Market Garden. That's pretty fucking deep. Oh, that's right. The world map.
Okay, with the broom there, can I like a 2 or jumbo go through this the front?
Yeah, you can kill a jumbo with it. Just aim for the turret.
No, as in can they kill me?
Probably.
By shooting my front.
I mean, angle's a big part of it. I would side scrape just to be safe, but if you really have to, try to angle your front as best you can and using the terrain to like cause you to have a bigger angle and hope for the best. Some people know where all the weaknesses are in some of the tanks.
Because I know you said that you could take these all the way up to the Abrams, so I'm just thinking, do I go into leopard territory and take this with me?
Yeah,
I mean,
I would.
They're gonna shred me if they get through, but there you go.
Well, just careful positioning, you know. Like I take all 100, like any 150 millimeter cannon. I gladly take it up as high as it's as high as wherever. Even that little shitty Swedish one, and that's a recoilless rifle with like 2 dudes driving it. You just machine gun them and kill the crew. Even I do it with them. With like Abrams and stuff. Seth watched me. I did it in front of Seth several times.
I'm waiting on you now.
Oh no! Now you're waiting on me. No, I'm just kidding.
But I'll continue playing Warzone if you really want me to.
No, I've been waiting on you for like 300 hours, man.
You've been doing your missions, so I just don't want to bother you, that's all.
Is this game supposed to be co-op? Alright, how do I get out of here? There's supposed to be mods for this game. I think there's a workshop. How do I quit? Am I really gonna have to spam my mouse? How do I quit this game?
Settings, maybe?
There it is. I had to fucking use my mouse for it to show up. There we go. Fucking hell. Every one of these fucking Calypso games. Anyway. It's not bad. It looks like it seems like a fun game.